Let's crack the beer open. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. Let's see. There you go. All right. What's up? So, I guess this live stream is just kind of a spontaneous one. And so I'm just going to sit and chat with everyone, I guess. And so, yeah, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I'm having a beer. This is Spaten Oktoberfest Marzen 5.9. Yeah, just a nice beer after work. Let's see. What's up, everyone? Happy Thanksgiving, huh? It's not even Halloween yet. Not bad. Nice and fresh. Malt liqueur. What's the beer? Here you go. Or Spaten Oktoberfest Marzen. Yeah. Thank you very much, Aiden Jordan. Yeah, or Jordan. Yeah. Let's see here. Where do I work? I don't share where I work because if I do, you'll know where to reach me. And so I've had people in the past like find out where I work, and I've been able to take care of that, and so people aren't going to be able to find out anymore. But like I had people reaching out to my place of work and call and stuff like that, and it kind of got to turn into a problem. And so yeah, I don't tell people where I work, but I mean, within 2 months or so, where I work is going to be as a content creator. So I'm going to be like, uh I would say I'm a YouTube content creator or a TikTok creator at that point, I guess. But yeah, right now I still am working a 9 to 5 job. Um, but like I've been taking a lot of voluntary time off. So like there's been days where there's been weeks where I'm just working like 8 hours or less even. I haven't been working a whole lot. Um, and I've been focusing on like the content and the stuff that I need to do at home. And so yeah, it's been really fun. And I can't wait to do all of this full time. See here. What's my social security number? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About my katana. Think what it is. Tied. So this katana here. So I haven't told anyone or talked about the sword for a long time, I guess. Um, Back when I was able to live stream on my other account and stuff, I used to talk about it a lot. Um, this sword is just for display. It's just for show. It's like a really cheap sword that I got back when I was like 18 or something when I visited Chicago. So it's nothing special. Like I'm sorry to kind of burst your like fantasy bubble, but like the story that I put behind this sword called like Demon Slayer, or yeah, I think it was called Demon Slayer. Yeah, it was just for fun. It was just a cool story that I made up, and it got a lot of traction, and a lot of people enjoyed it. And I want to do a series, but I just haven't felt like doing it yet. I've done a few other like sword videos and stuff like that too, like mythology behind a few different swords, and I called it like the Zodiac swords. And it was based off of the Chinese zodiac though. And so like I would there would be so like the Chinese zodiac has 12 zodiacs, 12 animals, right? But Demon Slayer is a 13th sword. And so I explain like if there's 12 zodiacs, why is there a 13th sword, you know? And so there was a 13th zodiac called Demon Slayer or something like that. I kind of made it up and it was really fun. And I want to do more, you know, because I used to write like short stories and stuff like that here and there because I used to be an illustrator. And so I wanted to create like an anime eventually someday, but it's a pipe dream that'll probably never happen. But who knows? It might happen someday. I don't know. But I still have the story and everything set up in my head, and I've written it down. It's actually pretty decent in my opinion. And it has like a whole economy and a whole structured sort of power system. And then like the antagonist is not really a bad guy, but he kind of is at the same time, you know, and he's just a misunderstood antagonist, I guess. But it's a really cool story. But I kind of made up stories about the swords and stuff like that, and yeah. But yeah, this sword here, it's dull and it's not sharp at all. But I have it tied up like this, right? I have it tied up so that people can't unsheath it. And the reason behind that is because I absolutely hate when people see a sword and the very first thing that they do is they want to unsheath it. And swords, even if it's just for display, aren't toys, you know? It's not meant to be swung around willy-nilly like you don't, you know, it's not a toy. And so whenever people came over or whenever people see a sword when I'm around, they always want to unsheath it and then start swinging it around. And I dislike that. And so in order to prevent that from happening, I tie it up. And so they'll look at it and stuff and they ask me why can't I unsheath it, and it was like, and then I just give them a BS sort of story. But yeah, that's the gist of it. The demon mask, so like this, or yeah, that. So this is an oni mask. It's a like in Japanese mythology or something, oni or these sort of masks, they are supposedly they ward off evil. Um, and so these technically are good things to have around, but I don't believe in any of that. It's just cool, you know. It's a demon mask. It's just cool. Um, and and it causes people to interact and it causes people to ask questions, which then triggers the algorithm, you know. So like a lot of the things that I do in my videos, like I do it on purpose. Like people forget that. You know, like people forget that I'm a content creator and I create content in hopes of like being able to at least make some money too, you know. Like it's I like to entertain, but then at the same time I gotta think about like, so like there's parts of me where I share like real life stuff with everyone, right? So I share real life stuff where it's more personal and it's real. But then I also create content where it's somewhat shocking and it causes people to interact with the content. I create content that challenges people's mindset and challenges people's understanding of what they believe is true. And so when I do that, it causes people to interact and then it helps the algorithm. And hopefully I'm making money from it, right? And so I do things with intention a lot of the times. So um like the video where I say let's make a three-pronged spear, right? I intentionally said that. I intentionally said three-pronged spear, and then I intentionally made a four-pronged spear instead. Um, and so that triggered people, and that video went viral, just because people were triggered by that mistake. Same thing with the fruit called rambutan. Um, uh, I pronounced it rambutan, and saying Ramboon pissed so many people off, and that video went viral. So many people shared it, so many people duetted it, and yeah, that video went viral. And so that's sometimes I do things on purpose. And I enjoy it when people like respond how I expect they to respond. Hmm. Let's see here. What's so good about beer? That's a good question. Um, so when I first turned 21, I experimented. So like prior to 21, I didn't really drink at all. Um, and so when I turned 21, I drank a lot, and I tested things out. I learned what I liked and what I disliked. I learned that I like lighter liquors and stuff more than darker liquors. But as I grew older, now I've acquired the taste of darker liquors, so like whiskey and stuff like that. But with beers, I've always been more interested in flavorful, deeper flavored beers. So um, like darker beers. So lagers, or not really lagers, but like stouts. Stouts are really good, because it's just almost velvety. And then just slightly darker beers, so like Blue Moon is really good. And then I didn't like any light beers really, so like Michelob Golden Light, Bud Light, and stuff like that. I didn't really enjoy those until later, and then I started to learn to appreciate the flavor a little bit more. People think beer tastes bad, and I totally understand, because like back then I've tried beer and I hated it. It's gross. um but then you kind of acquire the taste. So like people change, people's palates evolve. And so like like I wasn't how I was 5 years ago. I've changed a lot. Um, and so like same thing with like your flavor palette. Like you could have hated something back when you were younger, but then enjoy it later when you're older. Um, and so beer to me, I like the what is it the the yeastiness and like the weediness and what is it, maltiness from a beer. Yeah, so I like all of that. I like so like some beers almost taste like you're drinking like a loaf of bread. That's how some beers are. It's really cool. But then there's some beers that taste fruity, and you kind of just taste around and you kind of find out what you enjoy. Let's see here. Trying to see if there's any questions that pop out. There's been a lot of messages. Let's see here. Thank you very much, Momo the second. So is those are black? That's a black cat. Let's see here. Guy. Let's see. Where do I sleep? I sleep in my bedroom in my house. Let's see. Slay tons of demons in your adventures. Yes. So like this shirt here, or this design, I'll talk a little bit more about the design and the concept behind it in a little bit, actually. Let's see here. It would be nice to make money out of what we love to do, creating content. It just takes time. Yes, that is true. That is very true. Like 5 years ago, I wouldn't think that I would be where I'm at now. Um, I had the idea of wanting to do something like this, but I seriously never imagined that I would have grown this large, at least on TikTok. And then now with like nearly 50 something thousand subscribers, like that just blows my mind still. Like I seriously can't believe it, because literally 2 years ago, right around this time, I was just celebrating like 500 subscribers. So like just 2 years ago, 500 subscribers. And 500 subscribers, it took me 3 years to get to 500 subscribers. That's a long time just to get to that much. But then 500 subscribers to 54,000 subscribers right now, that's incredible in 2 years. So like I really, really appreciate everyone's support. Let's see. What's my favorite food? So my favorite food, I think, would be like sushi. It's very um broad, and so yeah, I could eat sushi all day every day and I'd be fine. I used to work at like Japanese restaurants and stuff like that, and I used to make myself sushi every single day. Never got sick of it. Smallies are hitting good on the Mississippi right now. Get out and fish. So actually, I really want to go fishing. I really do. I just don't know like where to go and what to do really, because the weather is different now. Like, are is fish good at this time of year where it's colder like this? Or are they all out in deeper waters and hiding and stuff? Or are they out? I really don't know. I don't know anything about this. Um, so yeah, if you can share a little bit more details on like where I can go fish, or how I can be successful with it, that'd be nice. Otherwise, I'll hit up like my buddy Eric, and I'll ask him, and perhaps maybe if he wants, he can take me out. But I don't think he he's probably doing a lot of duck hunting right now. This is what he does this time of year every year for the past like 3 years. I'd love to go hunting with him someday, but probably not this year. I'm still still not haven't gone through all that yet. I still need to shoot my rifle. Like I haven't shot my rifle yet, and I might go like squirrel hunting or something like that. I don't know, but I want to do something small first, you know. But I do want somebody to kind of guide me through it. And there's a guy on TikTok, Jake. His name is Voices of Jake on TikTok. He's from Minnesota. He makes this really high pitched voice, and he's really cheerful and funny. And he does a lot of like wood splitting and stuff like that. And he works with axes and stuff a lot. And yeah, he's from Minnesota, and we might start hanging out. And so we might do some sort of collaboration or something like that. He wants to do like a podcast interview with me, just sit and chat and stuff like that. Um, but it'd be really nice to be able to go hunting. But yeah, I do want to go fishing again. I haven't had a lot of success with like big bigger game fish this year. So like I haven't I have not caught a bass this year in Minnesota. I caught a bass in Pennsylvania, but I haven't caught a bass this year yet in Minnesota. I haven't caught a northern either, and normally I catch northerns all the time. Like this year was just a bad year for fishing for me, at least, or at least in Minnesota, because the weather has just been bad and weird. Um, but yeah, so like TikTok thinks like I really suck at fishing when well, I am still a noob at fishing, but I'm not as bad as people think. It really is just like this year. Like normally I catch a whole ton of fish, and I'm like just feasting on fish like all summer long. But yeah, this year hasn't been that great. Do you like smoking cigars? That's a good question. I have not smoked a cigar. I would be willing to try. Um, but I've tried cigarettes before. I hate it. I'm not a smoker. I used to vape, but the only reason why I vaped was because I owned a vape shop. Because I opened a vape shop for like 2 years with my cousin, and I we shut that down after 2 years. Because things happened. I'll explain that maybe in another video or something. I don't know. But like, yeah, I used to vape a lot. Um, and then I did get into like nicotine and stuff, but I didn't really care for it, and I never really got addicted or anything like that, and so I didn't. Um, and then I have tried smoking cigarettes in the past, and I hated it. I absolutely hate it. It just reeks coming in and coming out, and I don't know, like the flavor of tobacco though, in general, I can understand the appeal, right? So cigars maybe a little bit better because you don't inhale apparently. I don't know. I like that that tobacco-y sort of woodsy sort of aroma, but smoking is a no-go for me. Like I don't like it. Just want to see your next one that you kill and skin, eat, storage, rest, animal similar to turtle, uncensored. Oh, so like I'm a little like so I'm fine with showing like a little bit more graphic videos, I suppose, but at the same time, I need to think about like how like YouTube allows videos like that or not, because I mean, going through this whole issue with TikTok and getting videos taken down and possibly getting banned and stuff, it kind of brought to attention, stuff that I do. Um, I need to be aware of what I'm doing, and be really concerned about it, I guess. Even with YouTube is a lot more lenient, I guess, because they've been around for a lot longer and they kind of understand their audience, they understand their creators and stuff like that. And they fleshed out their community guidelines and they fleshed out the way that they handle all of this. And they also are a bigger company and they have the necessary sort of um, workforce behind everything that they need to do. So like if I need to reach out to YouTube, I can actually get like a real life person to respond. Um, and I've had that happen before multiple times where like I've run into small issues and stuff and some issues and or just had questions. I actually get people who can reach out and respond, in a professional manner and in a timely manner, right? TikTok is unbelievably frustrating because their customer service is like non-existent. Um, I actually did get a response about my live streaming privileges on TikTok today, actually. And the thing is, the message that I sent about my live streaming privileges was back in like March, like of this year. So March. So the message was back in March, and I just got a response from them. That's horrible. But the response though was the same as before, like way back 2 years ago, and they said you were doing something with illegal activity or regulated goods or some BS, and like and that's it. And they're like, nope, you can't have your live streaming privileges back. I'm like, okay, whatever. So yeah, it's been really frustrating. So like I don't mind showing videos that are graphic. So like I do have the video of me chopping that turtle head off, right? So I do have the clip of me just like chopping it off and it's just sitting there, right? And I think I pick it up and like it's squirming around and blood goes all over the place. But like I want to be decent with my videos too at the same time, and I don't want to just create shocking content just for the views. I kind of do, but at the same time, I want to be decent about it. Let's see. How's Raven doing? Oh, good question. Raven is doing great. Her recovery is going very well, and so I'm very happy. So that's why I'm how I am recently. Like I'm not like down or anything because Raven is doing fine. My emotions are way too much tied into Raven's well-being, and it really sucks. Um, but yeah, she has begun eating more of her normal food. I've kind of like swapped out like the bland diet, so it was chicken and rice mostly, and then I've been incorporating her normal kibble back in, and today she's been eating like maybe 75% more of her kibble, and then 25% is like just chicken. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to be giving her like mostly her kibble and maybe just small treats of like chicken. Um, but her bowel movement has been going normal, and so like let's see here. So yesterday she did poop, but just once, and that's fine. Today she went twice, which is great, but it's like small amounts, and I think it's because of the chicken and rice. The chicken and rice kind of compacts a little bit more, and so it's just small amounts. But she did poop twice, and so I'm expecting her to poop twice tomorrow, and it'll just be like normal sized. It's weird to talk about like how like I have to monitor Raven's poop. And I'm really like detailed about that. So like I'm really detailed about like how it looks and its texture and everything. It's stupid. But but when I do pay attention to that, I can catch stuff earlier. So I can catch like if something's going wrong with her. And so that's why I pay attention. Like I always walk Raven and take her out to do her business. I'm not the type to just let her out and then just let her do her business by herself and then go inside or something. I know a lot of people do things their own way and what works for them, but like there are people who have like a backyard that's fenced in, and they just let their dog out and then they close the door and then their dog just goes out and they just hang out outside for like maybe an hour or 30 minutes or something to do their business, and then they're just brought back in later, right? um I personally can't do that. Like personally I have to like be more active and be more present with my dog. Like with Raven, I have to play with her, like physically throw a ball, physically walk her, physically do things with her, um, because it creates that bond, and then it creates more trust, and then I'm able to then monitor stuff like her poop and stuff like that, right? And so I think it's important. That's just my opinion how I do it. But like other people, they can do it their way. It's not like it's wrong or anything, but I personally think it's better if you actually like be more active and present with your dog. Oh, what is the next exotic animal you want to try catching and cooking? Oh, that's an excellent question. Um, do you guys, if you know this guy on YouTube called the Bearded Woodsman, he's super cool. Dude is super super cool. I'd love to see him on the show alone, but for some reason they're not casting him. Maybe he'll win, and that's why. um, but yeah, that guy is super cool. He does a lot of catch and cooks of strange animals, and so I kind of want to follow in his footsteps and do things like that. Um, so like, let's see. So I wouldn't consider it really exotic, but like it would be strange, right? So like exotic to me would be more like a kangaroo or like an ostrich or something like that, something that's not local. So like I would be open to trying like a possum, like a possum that you find around in Minnesota. But at the same time, I'm kind of, I don't know. I would be upset killing and eating a possum because they're so useful animal. There's such useful animals in our community that I would feel really bad eating one, but I would like to try. I feel like they're a misunderstood animal. Like they're really good animals. Um, but I would like to try that. I feel like I would get a lot of hate for eating a possum, but at the same time, people will be like, "Oh, they're just giant rats." They literally look like giant rats. Um, they're like they're United States like only marsupial or something like that. And their body temperature is slightly lower to where like rabies don't affect them as much, I suppose. And they eat ticks like crazy, and they clean. They're like the garbage disposal of your neighborhood. And so I used to have a lot of possums in my neighborhood, but for some reason I haven't seen them anymore, and it's kind of sad. Like 2 years ago, I used to see like footprints around of like possums and stuff like that, and I don't see them around anymore, which kind of sucks. Like I used to trap them. I used to trap possums around my shed, and just to see if they're around, and I would release them. I never killed a possum. Uh, I've acquired a possum before. If you have followed me long enough and followed my Instagram, or maybe even came from Snapchat, you would actually know 2 years ago I acquired a possum that was roadkill. I did post this on my Instagram like stories, and I like pinned it, but like maybe like this earlier this year I took it down because it was really graphic. And due to my rise in popularity, people were coming to my Instagram, and I was kind of scared that people would be really judgmental about the videos, and so I took it down. But it was very educational. I tried my best to make it as tasteful as possible. So like uh, what I did was I found the possum in the road, and so I just went and I picked it up. I picked it up and I brought it home, and it was just freshly killed. Um, and so it was still like warm, and it didn't hit um, rigor mortis yet. And rigor mortis is this effect on muscles when an animal or a mammal dies, I guess. Rigor mortis is when muscles stiffen up. And to me, that freaks me out. I hate it. I hate it. It creeps me out. I can't touch an animal when it has rigor mortis. It's creepy. And for some reason, I am more okay with handling a dead animal when it has freshly been killed, when it's still warm, and when it's still moving, when it still can move around, right? When its muscles are still like soft. I'm okay with that. But when they're stiff, it just creeps me out too much. I can't handle it. So I can't even pick up a squirrel that has rigor mortis. I hate it. But yeah, so like that possum had didn't have rigor mortis yet, and I ended up that night. I ended up setting up um, like a beam across my shed, right? And then I tied it up with its legs up, and then I started skinning it. And so I actually have a possum like hide in my in my bin somewhere. But I did skin it all the way, and then the meat, it looked like it got hit on its like right shoulder or something like that because it was really bruised. Um, the meat I kind of threw away. I was creeped out, and so I didn't want to like I didn't really want to waste it, but I did. Um, and it was just really cold and it got frozen anyways, and it was just gross. It was really really creepy, but that would have been a very good opportunity to try possum, to eat it. So that is a great question. So yeah, possum. One day you'll be at 1 million. I can feel it. Thank you. What are your plans after quitting your job? um, so when I quit my job, it'll be so like the very first day of being free from a 9 to 5 job is gonna be January 1st of 2022. Um, I'm still really scared, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like I really am not prepared. Oh, actually, I kind of am prepared now, but before I really wasn't. So, like, a lot of people hate me for having a lot of interests for some reason, especially when it comes to money. Um, I want to be more financially literate, and because um, you don't learn about money and you don't learn about how to make money work for you and stuff like that, going to school and everything. When you're going to school, you learn how to become a worker, right? So, like, for like a 9 to 5 job, because in school you have different periods and stuff, I guess, but like you're there for whatever amount of hours, right? And you get like a 30-minute break, you get 15-minute breaks and stuff like that, right? And then when you go to work, you do kind of the same thing. And in school, you go to school Monday through Friday and have weekends off. Same thing with work, right? Like a normal 9 to 5. It's kind of the same. It's very similar, and you're kind of taught growing up to become a consumer and all that stuff, and to become a 9 to 5 worker. Um, and you're not taught finances. You're not taught how to buy a car. You're not taught how to manage your credit cards, how to buy a house, what credit is, and all of that stuff, right? You don't know how to like make money, like you don't know how to make money work for you. And so I want to learn more about that, right? And so one of the things that I'm going to do is going to be more financially literate after I quit my job. I'm going to spend time reading books that teach me that, and then be able to learn how to invest better and be able to learn how to utilize tax, like stuff, right? Or so like I don't know anything about taxes, and I want to learn more about that to be able to take advantage of tax breaks and stuff like that. Um, what else? There was something that I was trying to get to. There was a point that I was trying to make. um, let's see here. Uh, what was I doing? Oh, so about my interests, right? So like today, I mentioned Cat Girl coin. It's a cryptocurrency. It's a token. So like I've been into cryptocurrency for a while, since back in like 2017. That's when I discovered Bitcoin and stuff like that. And people who don't understand crypto and like blockchain technology and stuff like that, excuse me, if people don't who don't understand blockchain technology criticize it a lot, and people like hate on me whenever I like mention it for some reason. um but like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bunch of other like projects are going to change the world, in my opinion. um it's there's a lot of projects that make sense, and then whenever I talk about something like 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 was it cat girl coin or Shiba Inu or anything like that, or Dogecoin, right? Those are meme coins, and those are, to me, I feel like those are like more pump and dump sort of coins, and so they're basically just people just pump money into it and then they just dump it eventually, and make a ton of money. And like, I just invested in cat girl coin. I put in like $500 like 4 or 5 days ago, and now it's close to sitting around like 10,000 or something like that, 10, $15,000, and it's only been like less than a week. Um, and so like I've taken the money out already. I know it can go higher. Um, and the thing is, I want to be safe, right? So I've taken the money out. I'm putting it back into my content, but most of it is going to be my safety net for the rest of 2022 for paying my car. So like my car payments is like $500 a month or something like that. And so like that money that I invest, that $500 that I would spend on like a payment for my vehicle has now turned into enough money to pay for it for a full year. um and so that's what I'm doing. And whenever I mention money, people hate on it. And so like i I don't want to mention it because, so sometimes I don't want to mention it because people think I'm like trying to push it or something like that, right? Or trying to get people into it. That's not the case. Like, I'm just sharing it because I want to, because it's something exciting, like, who in the world can turn $500 like into like 10, 15,000 in less than a week? How does that happen? Like, that's exciting. You want to share that. But yeah, I don't know. People can hate all they want, but like, I'm happy with that investment. And so yeah, I want to learn more ways of how I can make money and stuff like that, be able to sustain myself, be able to then build the lifestyle that I want, right? I want to be able to build um, the homestead that I want. So like, I want to have enough land to build like a home. Like, I want to physically build it myself, and then be able to put together um, like solar panels, and then put together a water collection system, have fences set up, and then have livestock. I want to have a pig and raise a pig, and then eventually butcher it, and then I want to share with everyone that entire experience. I want to show people that it's possible, that you can do it. And I think I know I can do it. I just need a little bit more time, money, and opportunities, and I think I'll be able to get there. And I think quitting my job is the first step. Okay. Best advice could give anyone living in life. Let's see. What's the best advice you could give to anyone in living life? um so there's a book called The No Complaining Rule by John Gordon. It's one of my favorite books. Um the No Complaining Rule, just from the title, you can kind of understand it a little bit, But the No Complaining Rule isn't necessarily about eliminating complaining, but it's more about utilizing your complaining for a better purpose to solve problems. And so my advice is to read that book. But essentially, um, there are some things in the book that details like how you can reduce complaining or or like strategically use complaining to solve your problems. And so let's say, for example, like there are different tips within the book, you know, and some of the tips are like being grateful, or understanding certain perspectives, right? So one thing would be like if you're complaining about having to drive to work, and getting stuck in traffic, right? So instead of saying that, you kind of swap it up and say like, I'm grateful that I have a car that I am driving to work, where I actually have a job, while so many people don't have a job, and while so many people don't have a vehicle to go to a job, right? And so you can kind of uh, put that spin on that perspective that way, right? So same thing um, like my complaints too, right? So like my issue with TikTok, right? My solution was to make a video kind of sharing that information with people, but then at the same time trying to be proactive. But my real solution to my TikTok problem is just to kind of cater my videos in a different way for TikTok, and then probably just transition over to YouTube. And so that's my solution. But if I can stay on TikTok and like do what I want to do, it'd be great. But who knows, right? But like another thing, right, is like um, having the type of perspective, like if you have a flat tire or something, right? So if you're driving, you hit a nail, you get a flat tire, instead of being really upset about having that flat tire, just think of it as an opportunity to learn or maybe get better at changing out a tire, right? And so, like, maybe like 2 years ago, I had a flat tire on my car and I was upset, but then I was like, you know what? This is a good opportunity to learn how to do it. And got, I ran into a few problems, right? And I had to solve those problems as I went along, and then now I'm a little bit more experienced and know how to do everything, right? And so you can kind of apply that to a lot of things. And so being highly like responsible for everything that happens in your life is a good idea also. So like whether it's good or bad. And so like I try my best to take responsibility for all the good things, but then also all the bad things that happen to me in my life. So like um so yeah, like the example with like the the car tire being flat or something. That's a bad thing that kind of happens, but then you spin it in a different perspective. If like let's say you get into a car accident, or someone steals from you, or your TikTok page gets taken down, right? You seeing it, pointing the fingers at yourself. I feel like being responsible for it makes you grow as a better person, right? And so like if anything happens, you're the one responsible, right? And so that's kind of my life advice, I guess. But that book, I highly suggest reading it. It's called The No Complaining Rule by John Gordon. And then there's also another book that I really like. It's like it's it's something that I listen to all the time and I read it often, but it's called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Um, like people may not like Grant Cardone for some of the things that he's done, but like his book, The 10X Rule, is really good. You know, a lot of the things he talks about in the book can relate to life, and is really useful. Most of it is like business related, but a lot of the stuff that he teaches in that book is very practical, and makes a lot of sense. And so, like one of the things that I loved was commit first and think about the details later. It's one of the things that I try my best to kind of stick to. So like building this shed, right, was based off of that concept. If you go back and watch one of the videos, I think it was the very first video about me creating this shed. You start seeing me put everything together kind of. and then there's like a break in the middle, and then I start talking. Um, and then I start saying I wanted to commit first and then think about the details later. So I committed to building the shed 2 years ago. Just like, hey, I'm going to build a shed, right? I didn't have anything planned out. All I knew was I needed to get a certain amount of wood, and needed to get gravel, and needed to get a base down and everything. That's all I knew. I didn't know like what tools I needed. I didn't know what kind of screws I needed. I kind of just winged it. And it kind of it came together, and now the shed is like probably the most popular thing about me, because this shed kind of relates to me now, right? And so yeah, commit first and think about the details later. It's the same thing with doing anything else. So like if you wanted to start a YouTube channel or a TikTok page, right? Um, just do it. Don't think about like the camera that you have, what type of content you're going to make. Just make videos and start. And then you kind of figure things out as you go along. That's what I did with my YouTube content. Um, and there's a lot of friends that I have, a lot of other people that want to become content creators. And I'm always telling them, just start making content. You don't need to worry about anything else. And so a lot of people get stuck on the whole figuring things out, that they never start. And because they never start, they fall behind. And then while somebody else is doing the same thing that they want to do ahead of them, you know? And so, yeah, that's kind of my advice with that. All right, we've been going on for how long? 51 minutes. Okay. And the chat is probably like really far behind because I'm talking a whole lot, aren't I? Dang, save the scar for a special occasion. Let's see here. Bodia, cigs are gross. Yeah, so like the comments I'm reading right now are about cigarettes and stuff. So that was a while ago. Let's see here. Wish people would kill animals in a more humane way, because I've seen people hang them and drag them by ears. Yeah, I've seen all that stuff too. It's really sad. I've seen a lot of videos of like pigs and cows and chickens and stuff being mistreated, and it really sucks, you know? Like, I'm sure I've come across eating animals that have been abused and stuff, you know, and it never really crossed my mind. But at the same time, you got to understand, like, not all places are like that, right? Like, that's a singular video that could have been in a very controlled small area, you know, or something. Who knows? We don't really necessarily know, like, it's going on amongst every, you know. I try to, like, what's the word? I try to assume positive intent, right? Um, and and so like a lot of companies nowadays and a lot of businesses nowadays, they have changed, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of companies now have changed to be a little bit more ethical, um, especially credit card companies. Holy crap. Especially like, yeah, especially credit card companies, phone companies, and and uh, and trial stuff, right? So like 10 years ago, maybe even longer, before, even maybe even before that, whenever you wanted to unsubscribe to something, you needed to call in. And it was the most difficult freaking time on the phone ever. Like, it was the most frustrating thing to do, to like cancel a subscription or cancel like T-Mobile or something like that 10 years ago. Like, to cancel T-Mobile, you would have to go through like five different freaking people, and then they would keep trying to upgrade you to keep you. and it would take like maybe an hour or two just to cancel T-Mobile service or something like that, right? It was the most frustrating thing ever. But I think over the years, um, business has changed, business ethics has changed, and so I feel like because of that time frame, that time difference now, I think that a lot of companies and businesses now find more success in being more ethical. So that goes for raising animals too on farms. And so I feel like we don't see as much abuse as we did back then. Um, and I'm sure we have a long way to go to really eliminate everything. But I think, like, just to be more on the positive side, most of our food is coming from a good space, you know? And so that's what I like to think. And so, yeah, that's kind of my opinion on things. What breed is she? I'm assuming you're talking about Raven. Raven is a Australian Kelpie, but to be honest, I haven't done a DNA. I haven't done a DNA test. I probably will spend some money and buy like a DNA test kit or something and figure that out. It'd be nice, and it'd be probably a good idea to know Raven's true sort of breed and maybe her biological age too. That'd be cool. But I'm pretty positive she's a Australian Kelpie. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Peter. Just got back from work. Great way to end the day. Love from New Zealand. Thank you very much. Please, please keep up your content on TikTok. Wondering if you have any new cooking content or plans that you can share with us. Ah, one of my plans, like I think, I think I'm actually gonna try to do this tomorrow. I don't know if I can or not. We'll see, or maybe this weekend. Um, I really want to do a turtle soup video, um, where I'm cooking turtle soup. Uh, like I'm gonna be using like those Chinese um medicine sort of like ingredients, like the goji berries, like those wood pieces, and that here, and like the ginseng and stuff like that. So this is ginseng. This is the wood that I'm talking about. This is the red dates. This is what is it? Uh, it's lotus seeds. Oh, and then that's fine. Okay. And then there's like a bunch of other stuff too. So like I want to do that. Um, but I don't know. I'll try to figure something out. I'll probably be doing it around the shed, but I really want to make a video where I'm out in the woods. Like I want to do where like I'm cooking like a steak or something, you know, in the woods, and then get like a quick shelter set up or something, you know. I want to do like a bushcraft style thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe in a couple of weeks I can go hang out with Jake, and like Voices of Jake. So I might be able to hang out with him. He says that his dad has like 100 something acres up north somewhere, and so we might be able to hang out that in November. And then I can probably like use up some of my vacation time or something like that, and and then take a few days off. That'd be really cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Hmm. What is something you're trying to learn right now? Um. So like I mentioned earlier, I would like to be more financially literate, and so that's something that I want to learn. But this is something that I want to learn more about. Um. So this is a moose antler, and this moose antler is really tough. Like, you can probably break a lot of stuff. But this right here is Georgetown flint, and if you hit it right, and if you know how to flake it right, this can be turned into an axe head or an arrowhead. And I want to learn more about that. I want to learn more flint knapping stuff, and so I got a ton of this, and I might buy more. And so it's just to practice, but I need a good space to do it in. And like my shed is a decent space to do it in because all the shards and stuff will fly out, and then I can just sweep it up. If I do this outside, it will just fly everywhere, and I don't want Raven running around and getting cut, you know. So having this done in the shed is good, because I can just sweep it up and it's fine. So that's something that I want to do, and learn. And this is something else that I want to learn a little bit more about. This right here is float copper, and I've mentioned this a couple of times in previous live streams on TikTok. This float copper, this is about 99% copper, solid copper. All that sort of turquoise green stuff that you see is just oxidation. It's malachite. If I actually like ground this down and sanded it and polished it, it'd be just solid copper. It was really cool. I'd like to turn this into an axe head too, or something, or turn this into a tool. It'd be really cool. And I probably do this for like a YouTube video or something. Like TikTok now, I don't know. Like I'd love to be able to turn this into an axe head and make a cool video for TikTok. But like even that, right? Like back then I made a knife, like float copper knife. It was a smaller piece. And what I did was I just took it and I just ground it on a piece of rock, and I got it sharp and everything, right? And I made a small knife, and I like attached it to like a deer antler handle and everything. And it wasn't even sharp enough to cut myself or anything. But it just looked cool, you know? And that video got taken down on TikTok, and it was kind of dumb. And I feel like, but I re-uploaded it, right? And it stayed up. But this was like years ago. This was like 2 years ago. But now with all the violations I have on TikTok, I think if I posted a video of me making an axe, they're going to take it down immediately. I'm not sure if you guys know, but let's see here. I don't know the guy's name, but if you know like Trisha, like that used to hang out with David Dobrik, she used to do a podcast with this other guy, right? Or something. But that other guy like doesn't deal with Trisha anymore, I guess, or something. But that other guy, right, that I'm trying to talk about, he did a interview with a TikTok whistleblower. And so she actually was on the moderator team at TikTok. And so she kind of brought to light a little bit of information about videos getting taken down and stuff like that. And it's really, really fascinating and interesting. Some of the things that she mentioned was like some of the moderators that moderate videos may have a grudge on a particular creator and may take videos down or flag it, or maybe even or maybe even leadership within TikTok might be monitoring your account and just have some sort of feeling against you and be flagging your videos, you know. And so it is, so like content creators on TikTok are treated differently. So like I can see that, you know, certain content creators are treated differently. And so I feel like I'm on that list where they treat me poorly because of the things that I do. And I get it, right? I challenge people's perspectives a lot, especially like with me just showing a live chicken, right? And then showing it butchered and cooked, right? Most of the time, whenever you see a video like that, it's mostly like a video of a Chinese guy, literally from China, right? You don't see a whole lot of that with someone speaking English, right? Or someone from the States, right? At least I haven't. I haven't seen anyone do that. I haven't seen anyone show a live animal and then it then being butchered and then eaten, right? I don't see a lot of videos like that. And so I feel like they have some sort of grudge against me. I mean, and it's a normal thing, right? It's something that happens. And but people are just so blinded by that idea that our food used to be once alive. Um, and I guess TikTok just doesn't like certain people in TikTok probably just doesn't like me, right? I don't know. And so yeah, it's been frustrating having to deal with all of that. And so, I mean, I really appreciate everyone's support here on YouTube. The community here on YouTube has been so much more wonderful. Like, I do still get hate, but the hate is not as much as on TikTok. But then again, like the amount of people on YouTube versus TikTok is different, like considerably different. But I'm enjoying my experience on YouTube a whole lot more. And so I really appreciate everyone's support. Let's see here. American opossum is so scary looking. Yes, they are. They are very scary looking. Um, like, but they're all like acting though. Like most of the time they're really harmless, but yeah, they put a really good act that they're like scary, like their teeth, yeah, it looks frightening. The first time I saw a possum, it just looks so gross. Like I saw it my window, so like my bedroom, right, has a window that literally just goes straight to like the ground floor on outside. So like half of my bedroom is underground, and so when I open up my window, you see the ground outside. And so like one time, I saw a possum just hanging out there by my window because I used to feed stray cats in my neighborhood. And so I would open up my window, I would put out a dish or food for the stray cats, and I used to be able to call them. And I would say Kiki, and like three cats will come running, and they would come and eat the food. Um, and then one night, I remember hearing a bunch of rustling, and then I open up the window expecting cats, but then I see like this giant possum, is huge, and it's rat tail sort of looking thing, right? Its tail was just so gross; it just looked creepy. And its young was just hanging on it. It was like the most it just I don't know, it was just the creepiest thing ever, but I'm a little bit more like okay with it now. But yeah, like years ago when I saw that, it was the creepiest thing ever. And yeah, it is really really frightening looking. Okay, Ben, oh wow, Ben sent $20, like a $20 sticker. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Wow, thank you. I really, yeah, that, thank you very much. Thanks for answering my question. I'm Australian, and you can actually buy kangaroo meat in every grocery store here because we have so many kangaroos. Every year they have to be culled. Wow, that's crazy. I've had kangaroo meat before, but in like a jerky form, like kangaroo jerky. Um, and it tasted good. I felt like it did taste slightly different, than like the usual meat that I have, but it was so much. There was so much full of flavor, like like sugar and barbecue sauce or whatever it was, that you didn't really taste like the meat. And so I would eventually someday would love to try some like fresh kangaroo meat or something, and then cook it up like a normal steak or something. That'd be really cool. Kangaroo meat is quite common. Are you Cambodian? No, I am Vietnamese. But or no, let's see. Oh, there you go. Just quit my job today also. Well, congrats, Rocky. Congrats. All right, let's get another beer here. Let's see here. Not here in American education system. They don't teach anything besides college and work till you're 60. Yep. There you go. William Mark. Love to see a fellow Southeast Asian person like Tom on social media. The fact that he's into bushcraft is really my cup of tea. Yes. So like there's not a whole lot of Asians, you know, that do bushcraft publicly. Um there's very few people that are Asian that do bushcraft publicly. Like at least in the United States, right? Um like I know there's Japanese people that do a lot of bushcraft stuff. There's Chinese, Korean people that do bushcraft stuff too in their own respective countries. Um I haven't met a whole lot of Asian people on YouTube or anywhere else really that does what I want to do. Um I know one other guy, but he doesn't do a whole lot of videos. Um, but I do know that there's a lot of Asian people that are interested in bushcraft. They just don't make videos, and they do things, like privately on their own, just for fun. They don't record anything. Um, a lot of the Hmong community in Minnesota are like that. A lot of the Hmong community in Minnesota are very self-reliant. They they have farms. They grow their own crops and stuff like that. They're foragers. Um, like I see a lot of them foraging for like mushrooms and plants and medicinal plants and stuff like that. And they're very well versed in all of that. And they understand self-reliance very, very well. I feel like it's kind of ingrained in their culture, even because they were kind of kicked out of countries and stuff. They don't even have their own country. Their history is really complex. Um, and Hmong people, I really really respect Hmong people because they've gone through a whole lot and they understand like the survival mentality. Like I don't know a whole lot about their history, but I know like they had to go through like Thailand and China and other countries and stuff like that, and kind of migrate to different areas because they were kind of pushed out, where they were already at. And I think they used to live kind of maybe like in the mountains in like China and other countries, I think. But a high percentage of the Hmong community is actually in Minnesota, which is really cool. And I have a lot of really good Hmong friends and stuff. Um, but yeah, a lot of them like they know how to fish, um, and then they know how to like do all sorts of stuff, and it's really cool. And I know I can learn a lot from them, and I'd like to do stuff like that also. Have you ever tried Mexican food? Yes, I have. I've tried authentic Mexican food in a Mexican household. So like when I visited Houston, or no, when I lived in Houston, there's a lot of Tex-Mex stuff, right? But I had uh, a friend that had lots of Mexican friends, because you're in the South, a lot of them are there. Um, in Texas, right? And so I visited a family, right? And we were just visiting for a little bit, and we just sat down, and like they kind of forced us to eat. But I had like a few tacos and stuff, and it was wonderful. It was really really good. Mexican. So like I love Mexican spices, right? I love the idea of like different types of spices that have really good flavor, right? That's one of the coolest things about like Hispanic foods. Um, like like the spices, you know, they're not just dry spices that just burn your mouth. It's spices that have body to it. It's spices that have flavor and color to it, you know. And so I really love like Hispanic foods. And like I would like to like find ways to enjoy it more. Hmm. What is the oh, that's a good question. What is the project you were going to start that wasn't related to bushcraft? So the project was a card game, and I wanted to turn it into a bushcraft thing. So I created a reskin of a card game that was never released in the United States. So if you know a card game called Love Letter, it's similar to that. So Love Letter is a really simple game. It's like a two-player game, but it's best played with more people, around four or maybe even five people. Um, so Love Letter, I don't really remember the main concept, but essentially you want to like acquire like the letter, or is it like the the girl, I guess, or the princess maybe, but um essentially there's like a deck, you draw a card and then you burn a card, and then you have to play your card or something like that, or burning the card is playing the card. And so you play the card and then it does an effect or something, and then it kind of goes around, and then eventually you come to like you're supposed to collect a certain card or something like that, and then there's three rounds and then you win. But it's really fun, and it's easy to learn, and it's really fun, and I got obsessed with it. There's a Japanese skin version of Love Letter, and I absolutely love it. It's such a fun and quick, easy game to play. I was so obsessed with it that I ended up looking up similar games. And then I found that there was sort of like a sequel, sort of expansion to that game. I don't remember what it was called. And I don't know, and I don't think it was ever released in the United States. But it was translated. Um, and and I was able to get all the cards together, and I translated it, and then I created my own card game based off of that. And so I called it Kronos Blade, or something like that, I think, or Kronos Sword, I think, something like that. But that project was like years ago. I think this was like five, six, maybe six, yeah, 6 years ago that I did this. So I designed all of the drawings and everything. Actually, I might have it here. Let me see. I actually might have it here. Oh, fantastic. Oh, never mind. I don't have any of the drawings. Here, let me see. Ah, lame. Okay, so like this, right? So yeah, these are the cards basically. And so like, let's say for example, like this one right here is, oh, here, there's a duplicate. So this one right here is Gravekeeper. Look at the top card of the deck, then shuffle it with a discarded from any player and place both in runes or something. And like the deck would be really small. It'd be slightly bigger than this, I guess. And it was really good for like 3, 4 players or something, maybe 5. this was a different version that I did. Um, but there would be drawings of like a character right here. Um, I don't have the actual one with me right now. But it was a lot of fun. And so my project idea was either to one, complete the rule book. So I had to reach out to my cousin who actually has the original because I went and I like printed it and professionally, and it was like actual cards. And so I printed it, and my cousin has it, and he plays it often still. And so it's really cool because he remembers how to play it, and so he had to share like the rules and everything with me, and so I wanted to create a rule book so then I can compile everything together and start selling the game, the card game, on TikTok or something like that, as is. But now that I'm thinking about it, I would like to actually create it more sort of like bushcraft style, you know? So like there would be different characters, but more in like the bushcraft realm, that would make a little bit more sense. So like a medic or something, or like a bushcraft hunter or something, and it'd be like a guy in like hunting gear, or a like a spiritualist or something, and then you'll or the spiritualist would have like herbs and medicine or something, and then maybe even a witch, you know, and I don't know. I wanted to do something like that, and create a card game, and it might be cooler. I think it would be. I think it would pay off a little bit more if I redesigned the whole thing, like reskinned it actually, and so reskinned it to look more bushcraft, clueless bushcraft sort of style. So it'd be like a clueless bushcraft card game or something. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I think that would um it would help make additional income for me, but then at the same time it would it would give some value to my community and be like, hey, this is a really cool card game, you know. And so I'd love to do something like that. So that project is on hold, but I think it would be something that I would be spending time on once I quit my job. So I will like set aside time to just focus on that or something, you know, like project time for that. And then I want to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. So I can't wait. I really can't wait for that. Let's see here. Rage. Seeing you went to my city, born and raised in Pittsburgh. So crazy seeing my favorite creator on home city. Yeah, thank you very much. Crypto is really neat. I've known about Bitcoin since I was like 15, but no one took seriously. Yeah, definitely. 10 minutes ago and already like this guy's videos. So my dude Tom messaged you on Instagram. Wild Urban Adventures. Okay, I will take a look at it. Let's see here. This is so okay. There you go. Want to learn more about crypto? So can you talk about it more? Would really love that, but guess people. Let's see here. Hate you for it. Yeah. Um, I can talk a little bit more about crypto here and there. I think TikTok has a little bit, like TikTok has me categorized in like the food category. I think, like, because you can select it. Like I can select my niche or niche, and I've selected food. Um, but my content is very broad and it's very like random at times, you know. I'm not your typical content creator that makes the same thing every single day. like like if you think about um let's see here, a lot of the food content creators out there, like Golden Gully and like Golden Balance or something like that, um and like Doobie Bop or something, or that girl, that Korean girl, and who else, a Sad Poppy, uh and a bunch of other guys, right? their content is very consistent. They have a certain style. Oh, and like fire whiskey and fire or something. That guy is super cool too. Um, so like yeah, all of their content, if you really pay attention, all of their content is very consistent. Like every single video is the same, but twisted a little bit with a different item, right? So like like fire and whiskey, I think that's what the channel is called. Like his content, like he literally like takes a shot glass, right, and slams it down every time, and he does a loop, right? But like he does that and then he starts cooking something. The style of editing, the style of how he does everything is exactly the same every single time, right? Same thing with everyone else, right? That's how you become really, really successful, and that's how you become like a good um, sort of creator for sponsors. Um, but with me, I kind of want to do things my way differently each time, you know. I know what works and I know what doesn't work, but I don't mind. I'm constantly learning, right? There's a particular formula that I do kind of use to get things to go viral. I kind of do have an understanding of it, you know. So like making videos loop and stuff, I have a clear understanding of how to utilize that properly. Um, and then like making food videos and stuff, you know, showing it, eating it, and doing the process. I understand. But I don't like to do that all the time. It's being consistent like that to me gets really boring. And so that's why my content is so varied. And so I don't know, it's a bad thing, but a good thing also, I guess. But yeah, switching up topics though into like crypto, people dislike that, and people like announce that they are unfollowing me. I really like. I would rather people unfollow me because like they just don't like my content, you know, which makes sense. But like this, I don't know. Sometimes people don't realize that a video sometimes is just a small snippet of my life. Like the one video that you saw of me doing this one thing this one time is just a tiny snippet of my life. So like, let's see here. So like, for example, a lot of people know me for my maple syrup video that I did back in like March or something like that. Like my content started really blowing off and kicking off when that video happened. So like it was a video of me just collecting maple sap off of a tree, right? That video blew up. It got like 6 million views or something. Maybe it's at like 8 or 10 million right now. Um, and that video caught the attention of like BuzzFeed and stuff when they interviewed me and stuff. And then I started blowing up from there. So like a lot of people know me from that video alone, and then they don't expect to see me cooking a chicken that used to be alive 5 minutes ago, right? And so stuff like that. People judge me based off. So like every single person out there has a different perspective on me, right? There are people that have seen like the bad side of me, or there's people that have seen like the really good side of me, and there's people see like they have like like every single individual has a different opinion on me, and it's really fascinating. Like every single one of you that are watching right now know me. Like there's a different version of me in your mind right now versus every single person that's in this live stream right now. So like the 40 people that are watching me right now, each and every single one of you have a different opinion or a different like version of me in your head right now. And I think that's fascinating. But at the same time, it's kind of annoying because like people judge me and stuff. And I try my best not to care, but it's hard not to care most of the time. But I've gone better at Logan to the moon. Yes. I don't even know like where cat girl coin is at right now. But I'll check later. It'd be fun to see. All right. I've been on the live stream for an hour and 30 minutes now. Um, I appreciate everyone's comments and support, super chats and stickers and all of that. Thank you very much, Momo, um, and all of my moderators too. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a whole lot. Yeah, I've been talking a whole lot. There's a lot of comments. I'm sorry that I can't get to everything. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I really can't get through. Oh, wow. Dark Knight. Thank you very much. Let's see. Wow, I really am behind. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So I started at 1:30. It's been an hour and a half. So 1 hour, so that'd be 12. So it's 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. right now. Okay. I gotta get back then. Um, I am going, I need to figure out what I want to do tomorrow. So I'm gonna plan things out. But yeah, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Consider subscribing if you have not already. I have a second TikTok channel. Um, it used to be called the Dragon of the Northern Sea, but I've changed it. It is now just clueless.bushcraft. And so go follow that TikTok page. It's my backup now. I don't know how much content I'm going to be putting on it. I don't know if I can monetize it or whatever. If I could, it'd be nice. So like the only reason why I even started posting on TikTok was the incentive of having it like get monetized. That was the reason why I started like going all out on TikTok. And that's why I blew up so fast. Um because like the first year on TikTok, I didn't really like put in a lot of effort into my videos because they didn't have the creator fund yet. Um, but I mean, I still want to create content regardless, but I still got to think about that stuff, which kind of sucks. But I'll figure things out. Yeah, so I appreciate everyone's support. I say that so much, but yeah, I really do. I will see you next time. And I'll be posting some more videos, I think. I have a few videos that I filmed today, but I couldn't get to editing them. There's a garden update and there's a chicken update. So yeah, I will see you next time. All right, peace out. Yeah, I guess I'll chug this first. Hmm.